An experience of not enough begins to wither and die for us personally, and we are set free to explore the infinite depths contained within the secret to life, our oneness with an abundant universe. And now the morning prayer by Reverend Bonnie. So let's take a moment of silence and place our attention upon our hearts. There is one life, one presence, one love that I call God the Good. It can also be called Atman, Allah, Brahman, Great Spirit, the thing itself, the field. Whatever name it is given, it represents the oneness out of which all life has sprung. From this consciousness awareness of the one, I make the natural supposition that if God is all, then I too am made of this God stuff. And if I am, so too everyone who hears my voice speaking this prayer right now, whether here in the sanctuary, online in this now moment, or online at a later now moment. This goodness and glory of God is present within me to the degree that I am willing to be open to it and express it. Today I say yes to the expression of God as abundance, overflowing, always flowing abundance, abundance of love, abundance of the joy, abundance of wealth, abundance of health. Great Spirit always present, always acting through me. Today I challenge myself to open up to the more of God's good. I accept this challenge, and I'm willing to be awake to and embody more of the abundance I am. As I speak this word for me, I speak it for everyone here. We are born from abundance, and to abundance we return. I vow to live from this truth. And so it is. Amen.
I think we're all going to join in singing together. We want to do that community song to weave us together? Good. So we'll have that up on the... Hi, I'm Heather. Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. So happy to see my mommy over here. Shall we rise and sing this song together? Let's all join together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, together in love. Moment ago, I don't know the words, but I'm gonna find it in our hymnal. Each of you and I and me in one great family. Weave us together, together in love. Weave us together, together in love. We all are different in this moment, playing all our different tunes, each one tuning for a different key. Oh, but we all are playing in harmony. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, together in love. A moment ago, still we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me greets the Christ in thee. one great family. Weave us together. Weave us together. Together and love. Weave us together. Weave us together. Together in love. You're doing great back there. So good. Well, we'd love to sing another tune for you. And in honor of my mommy, who you are my sunshine, which is not what I'm singing, but sunshine was a big part of our song. And so I wanted to dedicate this to all the mothers out there, but particularly to my mommy, Joan, and also my stepmommy, Judith, who is hopefully watching this today, and all of those special women in my life who I love dearly. So let's do this. You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always be around. Yeah, look at you, Evan. You are the apple of my eye. Forever you'll stay in my heart. I feel like this is the beginning. Though I have loved you for 1,000,000 years, and if I thought our love was ending, I'd find myself drowning in my own tears. Whoa, you are the sunshine of my life. Yeah. That's why I'll always stay around. You are the apple of my eye. Oh, forever you'll stay in my heart. You must have known that I was lonely, because you came to my rescue. And I know that this must be heaven. How could so much love be inside of you? You are the sunshine of my life. Oh yeah. That's why I'll always be around. You are the apple of my eye. Yeah. Forever you'll stay in my heart. You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always be around. Whoa, you are the apple of my eye. Forever you'll stay in my heart. You must have known that I was lonely, because you came to my rescue. And now this must be heaven. How could so much love be inside of you? Oh, you are the sunshine of my life. Yeah, that's why I'll always stay around.
Is sound, oh, there we go. Yay, 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 and yay. I love it. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center Spokane. Whether you're here in person with us, sharing the same sacred air that we're breathing, or whether you're joining us online asynchronistically or later, I welcome you on behalf of this entire fabulous, amazing community. And I would like to begin today by having 4 people come up who do not identify as a mother. So can I get 4 people who are non-mothers to step forward, please? Not, N-O-T, who do not identify as a mother. So you may be a stepmother, you may be a... He's a stepmother, all right, I say yes to that. All right, come on down, I need 4. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you all could take a 4th of this bouquet in front of me and stand in front of each section. As in get busy. As in now would be great. We know here at Unity that clarity equals love. And so it's really great when we're clear, and I greatly appreciate that. All right, and then go stand in front of one of the sections here. And we are going to practice giving consciously and receiving consciously. And so the givers, I would like to take a moment and to stand and feel their feet on the ground and just close your eyes for a moment and feel the love of God, the love of life, the love of the eternal flowing through your body temples. What we know is everything is energy. And so when we meet someone, always have the power to tap into an energy field of our choice before we show up in front of them. So let's tap into that field of incredible gratitude and deep love. And then those who identify as mothers, please stand. Unity Spiritual Center Spokane has a gift of a rose to give to you, reminding you that you are indeed a part of the garden of life and bring forth beauty, love, and joy into so many people's lives. So those of us who don't identify as mom, let's go ahead and rub our hands together, hold our hands up, and just beam these beautiful individuals as we do. Those who are passing out flowers can go ahead and pass them out. And so repeat after me. Ah, the Holy Spirit of mothers. We recognize you. We see you. We see the goddess in you. We see the God in you. We see the good in you. And we thank you for your sacred journey on this planet. And we thank you for sharing it with us. For the abundance that we have because of you. We are grateful. Amen. Thank you, everybody who participated. Thank you, moms. All right. Thank you, sweetie. You need to go have a seat now. Rosie asked if she could sit in our midst today, and when I was 5 years old, I went to adult church and never went to child's Sunday school. And that was such an important part of my soul and who I became, that when she asked, I said, as long as you sit still and you're quiet, you may be in here with us. So thank you, and thank you, Rosie. So today we are continuing our series on abundance, and we're looking at the mother lode of abundance, which is our consciousness. And the word mother lode is fascinating because, thank you, it's the main vein of gold or silver within a stone. So the mother lode is the main vein, and then I put a picture up here of a beautiful rock that has a mother lode. It has a main vein of gold that runs through it. And so for us, the mother lode of abundance is our consciousness. And I want to remind us that abundance is a quality of God, and God is all that there is. So each one of us, by definition, owns this space of abundance. And so I found this kind of interesting and fascinating as I meditated on this mother lode. It reminded me a little bit of a brain. So I put a brain up next to this mother lode, and I meditated imagining that this gold that we see seeping through this beautiful rock could be the energy within our own consciousness through which we know always that we came here abundantly, and abundantly we will leave this planet. So I have an affirmation for us. This is one that I used to do about 15, 20 years ago all the time. I used to say, oh, I can't help it. No matter what I do, money hunts me down and finds me, okay? So I want you to join me in this affirmation. Ready? I can't help it. No matter what I do, money hunts me down and finds me. All right, let's do love. I can't help it. No matter what I do, love hunts me down and finds me. Peace. I can't help it. No matter what I do, peace hunts me down and finds me. Creativity. I can't help it. No matter what I do, creativity hunts me down and finds me. Relationships. I can't help it. No matter what I do, relationships hunt me down and find me. Health. I can't help it. No matter what I do, health hunts me down and finds me. And joy. I can't help it. No matter what I do, joy hunts me down and finds me. Thank you. And I love that because it kind of combines that victim-y part of us. It's like, ooh, I can't help it. But then it just overloads it with the truth of God. So it's like a combo, which I like. So this is our third week of looking at abundance. Week 1 was about how to expand abundance. And what we learned is how we expand abundance is by giving. And then last week, and I'm so sorry I wasn't here because, boy, did I hear great things about Amber, and I heard you danced. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. So you welcome discomfort, and I like the idea when we're out of our comfort zone that we get up and dance. I think that was a really beautiful meld that Amber did to bring those two together. And then today we're talking about the consciousness of abundance. So I mentioned that our first week we looked at giving, and I gave you all a spiritual practice, which was in these sweet little notebooks. And if you don't have one and you want or need one or you're lost yours, we do have more. And Deanna's the person to see for these. Actually, it looks like Gay is waving them so beautifully back there. And in here, we were putting down our unexpected prosperity that came our way with the commitment, if we chose to do it, to tithe on it. So I'm into 2 weeks, not one. So here this tells you all the different ways that abundance found me. No matter what I did, it hunted me down, found me. Last 2 weeks, $1,269 worth of abundance. Here's my check for the tithe, and it will go in the purple envelope, which you guys all have behind your chair. So here's mine when the basket comes around. And as a community last week, we brought in almost $800, which meant that there was a lot of abundance going around, which I love. Okay, so here's my favorite quote of abundance from a sacred text. This comes from a Hindu text. It's the Upanishads. And it says this: "Then the well spoke to me. It said, abundance is scooped from abundance, yet abundance remains." Isn't that beautiful? Then the well spoke to me, and I just envision one of those old wells that you draw the water up, you know? So the well spoke to me and it said, abundance is scooped from abundance, and yet abundance remains. So I want to share with you a story about, and I'm sure many of you have heard it, but I invite you to hear it with fresh ears, is that there's a story about a traveler who showed up into a new village, and the monk was at the end of the village, the boundary, the border of the village, and the traveler came up and said, "Tell me about the people in this village." And the monk said, "Well, tell me about the village you came from." And the traveler said, "Oh my God, the worst people live there. They were horrid, they were greedy, they were stingy, they thought small, they were awful human beings. I could hardly wait to leave." And the monk said, "Oh, those people are here too." "That's our town, you nailed it. You want to keep going." And then about an hour later, another traveler shows up and says to the monk, "Tell me about the people here in the village. I'm thinking about relocating here." And the monk says, "Tell me about the people where you came from." And this traveler says, "Oh my God, I just didn't even want to leave. I love them so much. Kind people, generous people, amazing people. They helped out anytime you asked. They just had this heart that just overflowed, and I really didn't want to leave because they were so great, but it was time for me to move on." And the monk says, "You're welcome here. That's who we are." And so what that says is wherever we go, we bring our consciousness with us. So what is consciousness? Consciousness, and I shared this with us the very first Sunday that I spoke on abundance, consciousness is the narrative that we tell ourselves. This is what Raymond Moody says. The work of Byron Katie is, who would you be without the story you're telling yourself? Okay, so consciousness is the narrative that we are telling ourselves. We're telling ourselves that we had a horrible childhood. We're telling ourselves that we don't get along with our neighbors. We are telling ourselves that we are somehow impoverished in friendships, in goods, in ideas. We are the ones who are telling ourselves the stories. And then Byron Katie says, well, who would you be without that? Who would you be if you weren't telling yourself that? And I would say, and who would you be if you told yourself a different story? So there's someone in my life right now who just really doesn't like me. And it has been a real struggle for me because they are in my life and they're not going anywhere. So I was in meditation one day and I said, God, help me figure this out. What can I be saying to myself so I change my story? Because it's always about our own consciousness and our own perception and our own dance, right? And what I heard was this affirmation that I just love. And it's one I've been saying now for a while. And it is that this person deeply, deeply loves me. They just don't know how to show it. And so I go into meditation and I say this person's name, I send them incredible love, and I say this person loves me so much, they just haven't figured out how to show me that yet. And that shifts who I am internally, and that is the whole point of this. So if you think, Any thoughts of not enoughness, lack, insufficiency, we start with our own consciousness. Here's what Charles Fillmore says, that the ideas that are held in mind are the basis of all consciousness. Again, back to storytelling. What is consciousness? The dictionary says it's the quality or state of being aware, especially of something within oneself. Back to the affirmation that I spoke of. What I remind ourselves almost every week is that we have two aspects of ourselves. One is a constructed consciousness in mind. It is the identity that we have created for ourselves and how we perceive our own self in our mind. And then the second consciousness that we have is the I am consciousness of God. And that does not come from our mind. That comes from the field of God's good. That is a beingness. That isn't a mental mentation. So many of us go through learning how to change our mind until we are so aware of that field in which we live, move, and have our being that we start operating out of that. So it's always helpful to look at, is this constructed or is this from the I am consciousness of God's good? This is what Sri Aurobindo says. Consciousness is the fundamental thing in existence. It is the energy, the motion, the movement of consciousness that creates the universe and all that is in it. The microcosm and the macrocosm are nothing but consciousness arranging itself. So we also say almost every week that everything is energy. Who we show up as energy matters not only to ourselves, but to the collection of the whole. So here's Dr. Ernest Holmes. What is consciousness? All people are not only a center of God consciousness, they are immortal beings forever expanding, forever spiraling upward, forever growing in spiritual stature. Not some people, but all people are immortal, for everyone will finally overcome or transcend any misuse of the law which they have made in their ignorance. Complete redemption must come alike to all. So I'd like you to repeat this with me and say it all together. All people are not only a center of God consciousness, they are immortal beings, forever expanding, forever spiraling upward, forever growing in spiritual stature. Not some people, but all people are immortal. For everyone will finally overcome or transcend any misuse of the law which they have made in their ignorance. Complete redemption must come alike to all. So let's take a moment to talk about lack consciousness. And I made a little list here of some ideas of lack. Lack of confidence and self-worth, lack of authority, lack of humor, lack of resources, lack of faith, lack of things, lack of imagination, lack of curiosity. So what I want to say is there is nothing on this list at all that exists in our life unless we assign it to ourselves. Lack is an assigned energy that we place upon our constructed consciousness. Lack is an assigned energy which we place upon our constructed consciousness. That is tweetable. If there was a tweeter out there, I'd say, tweet it! That lack does not exist except outside of our imagination of it. All that exists is the divine presence of God, and God is love, and God is abundance. When we experience lack, it's because we have assigned it to our own constructed consciousness. We learned from Bucky Fuller that there's more than enough money, or more than enough food in this world to go around for everybody. It's a lack of imagination on how to distribute it that's the issue. We know that all of these other qualities like lack of confidence, authority, humor, resources, faith, imagination. All of those are internal qualities that we own ourselves. So I thought back to this week of my own and looked at one interaction that I had, and I invite you to do this as well. And the interaction that I'm looking at for myself is the training that a whole bunch of us received from Tony from UWM. And she was doing an online training for team leads. And I thought, what would that have been like if she believed that she wasn't worthy of delivering that? How would that have shown up? What would that have looked like if she owned the consciousness of not enoughness, of not having authority, of being unable to be curious, not owning faith? That would have been a completely different transaction that had happened between us because of her inability, hypothetically, she's not this way, but her inability to be able to recognize from that well that abundance we take and abundance remains. Okay? From the consciousness that we tap into the I am consciousness of God, and it is infinite, and there's nothing we can do to diminish that, period, end of sentence. So I think of after service, we have chaplains up here who pray with us. What would happen if we came up to a chaplain with our issue and they said, sorry, I don't have faith? Right? I mean, right, I have lack of faith, sorry. Go to someone else, can't help you. So the opportunities that we have as individuals and as a spiritual community to grow into the natural abundant state that we are is exciting to me. It's very exciting to me. So I'm going to tell on myself. I hate when I do this. Okay, don't use the word hate. I don't like it when I do this, but I'm going to tell on myself. So this week I was sitting over there where you serve coffee in the room there, and Dave and Gay Ribble were here, and Doug was standing next to the table. And I was showing them a video of one of my faith teachers who I so deeply love. And his ministry is online only. It's not both. It's online. And he charges a subscription for you to have a membership to him. And with what he charges and the number of people that follow him, he makes between $3 and $6 million a month. And so I was showing this video. He was doing an interview with someone else who lives in Spokane that we're getting as for our speaker series, more to come later, very exciting. I was showing the interview between those two. And Dave says, I want that guy, let's get him. Meaning the guy who makes $3 to $6 million a month. I want that guy, let's bring him here. He's good. And I said, we can't afford him. Oh! And Doug, the board president, was standing at the table, and he goes, Bonnie, don't say that. And then I started justifying it. We can't afford a couple $1 million to bring a speaker here. And he's like, don't say that. And I was like, but it's the truth. And he's like, don't say that. And he kept trying to call me to a higher place in consciousness that took off the cap that I had put on. And so I was speaking to lack of resources. I was speaking to lack of faith. I was speaking from lack of imagination, curiosity, all kinds of lack when I made that comment. And so thank you, Doug, for loving me enough to call me on it. And then I sat down with myself and I said, okay, so how could we as a community manifest $1 million in 30 days? Now, when Reverend Vicki ordained me, she said to me, I want you every single day for 3 months to write down how $10,000 can come to you in unexpected ways, and I want 10 on a list every single day. And I sat there, and the reason she had me do that was so I could stretch my consciousness from what is to what could be, okay? We have not agreed to generate $1 million here. This is an exercise for our own individual consciousness to think bigger, to think beyond. So how could we manifest $1 million in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? The real answer for me is to vision, to ask and to pray what is ours to do, and then it becomes funded and available. That's the route I would take. But just to stretch my consciousness, I said, oh, we could sell the building. And I go, that's too obvious and too easy. Forget that one. We could take a lien on the building. And then I was like, leave the building out of this, Bonnie. Okay. We could round up our collective talent and see what we could do for Spokane or for the state of Washington. There's a lot of things that our city needs, a lot of things our state needs. Together, we could allow that to be a way that finances flow. And then I had, we could have our own product line, like the Girl Scouts have cookies we all got sold to just a couple weeks ago, or monks sell wine or beer or whatever they sell that keeps their monasteries open. So I'm like, that could be kind of fun. We could write and self-publish a book, and we all have got people that we know, and we could send that all out, and we could get that going. We could create a skilled mentor pool. Unity is always the most creative, spiritual location in any town I go to. All of you are filled with skills and talent. And if we created some kind of mentor pool, I was like, oh yeah. And then we could just simply do none of that and then just send out links to talks, invite people to come online, invite people to come to the center, and we could grow. And along with the growth comes additional funding. So I go back to the very first talk I gave on abundance, where it's all about being first. We be first, and out of the being we do, and out of the doing we have. So how do we be abundant? We sit in the feeling tone of it. We sit in the enoughness of it. This week while I was driving, I was listening to a Michael Beckwith podcast, and he was interviewing a woman who was homeless. And she said, I want to be wealthy. And she goes, that means I have to give. She was living as a single mother with her daughter on the street, and she gave away 1/3 of the money that she had, feeling she was wealthy in doing it. And she now is a big-time speaker who makes many millions of dollars a year. But she started by knowing she had to feel the wealth that she is, and from that feeling place give. And she gave 1/3 of her income. She gave 1/3 of what she had. And it's like, that is faith. That is capital F, faith. And then Murphy and I got together for a meal after she got on the board, and we were talking about faith, and we were talking about abundance. We were talking about all kinds of stuff that nerds talk about. And she told me the story that Reverend Dennis has a friend who goes around and consults with centers for a living, and he consults with them on how to generate more revenue. And he, 100% of the time, is successful in having them grow their abundance. And you know what he does? One thing. He has their tithe go from 10 to 15%. And if you don't think that scares the pants off of a whole bunch of people, it's like Murphy said, a bunch of people like, can't we just give 11%? Why 15? You know, right? I mean, that whole internal dialogue. So the experience is the feeling tone and the connection with that field. From abundance we take and abundance remains. From abundance we take and abundance remain. So here's some thoughts around the consciousness of lack. We believe the universe doesn't know what it's doing. We believe that the past equals the future. We believe that we are not enough. We believe that choosing control instead of curiosity and openness is the way. Sometimes when we get scared, we just clamp down on control, whether it is financial or not. So if you feel like you don't have an abundance of friends and you just are trying and putting yourself out there over and over and over again, and it's not working, then you can watch your mind just start to say, but they don't understand me, they don't get me. But Spokane isn't a friendly city, and they start justifying the smallness, and a control thing clicks in. So we're wanting to open and expand that. And also, just like I was talking about with the speaker, we believe that we can only receive so much good. We believe that the outside world is what is real and what is going on in our consciousness is not, and that we choose to live out of the opinion of our mind, not the revelation, insight, and knowing of our soul. Consciousness of abundance. And after this, we're going to go right into a meditation of abundance. So the consciousness of abundance, it looks like this. A seed with right conditions becomes a tree with right conditions creates and becomes an orchard. That is abundance. It's the multiplication factor. How do we get right condition? That's our job to do with God. Matthew 13:31 through 32, and I have got mustard seeds that sit on my altar at home. This is how little mustard seeds are. Jesus said, he told them another parable, the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of gardens and becomes a tree so that the birds can come and perch in its branches. This is what abundance looks like, the small little seed that becomes a tree or a shrub that's 20 feet tall, that creates medicine out of it, that creates a spice out of it, that allows birds to come and make a home in it, that is physically beautiful, and that is called in many cultures the toothbrush tree, because the stems of it, the wooden part of it, have antibiotics in it, and you could cut it and brush your teeth with it and have clean teeth. That is abundance. Here's another example of abundance. If we take one corn kernel and we plant it, we'll have a stalk. The stalk will have 2 kernels on it. Together they average 1,600 kernels. We then can shave those off, plant all 1,600 kernels, and those 1,600 will multiply another 1,600, and then we will end up with 2,560,000 kernels. We do a 3rd generation of those, and we end up with 4,096 million kernels in a 3rd generation. That is abundance. So back to the mother lode, and actually I'm going to save that one for the end. So building our consciousness of abundance. We talked about this last week. Live outside your comfort zone, practice having, not lacking, dream big and dream often, create something new, give up jealousy, celebrate the wealth in others, practice what you love until you're excellent at it. For God operates in excellence, not mediocrity. Track your miracles, which mine keep multiplying. Meditate, contemplate, and stew in the energy of abundance. And for those of us who are lucky enough to call the center our home, we have an abundance team where they have committed to coming together and practicing the principles of abundance for their own well-being and to shift the consciousness of all of us. And then lastly, we practice with the abundance consciousness by giving. The great Catherine Ponder says in all of her books, give something. If you feel like you don't have, if you feel confined, if you feel stuck, what gets the energy moving is giving. Give something. Give a movie ticket. Give a flower. Give a praise. Give a compliment. Give kindness. Give forgiveness. Give service. Give ideas. Give respect to somebody. Honor somebody's time, talent, etc. Giving is the key to unlocking the stagnation of the belief in lack. So now we're going to enter into meditation together, and what I'm going to ask you to do as we meditate is I'm going to ask you to please enter that visual space that we see in that rock that has the gold in it, and imagine that's your mind. that the gold is the consciousness of abundance woven in your mind. And so go ahead and put your feet on the ground and close your eyes. Take a nice, big, gigantic, loud breath. Ah. And again. Ah. And so with our open heart and with our grounded feet, we place our attention upon what we consider to be our brain, that area of our mind through which we process thought. And as we enter into silence, let us just imagine that each one of our brains has a vein of gold going through it that is the abundant consciousness which we are. And as we enter into that energy, allow it to just fill your entire body temple. Allow yourselves to feel that abundance in your fingertips and your toes. Your shoulder blades, your ears. And so as we come to a close in this meditative time, we simply allow our breath to fill our entire body temple. We become awake and aware to the space in which we reside. We feel the energy in the room of divine abundance, grace, goodness, everything we call good. And so I give thanks that this Mother Lode is hardwired into our being, that we are the presence of God made flesh, and as such, we live in a field that is always supplying and supporting us. And so I give thanks that we are awake to this. I give thanks for each and every mother on this planet, each man and each woman who embodies the feminine aspects of God, that open to the flow, the receptivity, the love, the goodness, the nurturing that exists within each one of us. I give thanks for this spiritual center that we call unity, where we come together in order to remember and practice who we are. And so I just give thanks that God continues to surprise us with more good than we could ever imagine. And so it is. Amen.
kicking down cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. Hello, lamppost, what you knowin'? I've come to watch your flowers growin'. Ain't you got no rhymes for me? Do-do-do, feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. I got no deeds to do and no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready to sleep when the morning time drops all its petals on me. Life, I love you, all is groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. I got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready to sleep when the morning time drops all its petals on me. Life, I love you, all is groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, do-do-do, feeling groovy, feeling groovy.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of a better place to be. All right. Wow. Thank you guys so much for bringing your gifts and talents to us. Appreciate it. Okay, now it's that fun time of giving, and I believe we have a special something first, right?
Yes, we do. So it's another testimonial time. So hopefully in the booth you can start to cue that up. This is from Candy, and she has been at the center for a very long time, and she has a wonderful story on tithing that I really think you'll enjoy. Take it away, Doug.
Many years ago. I actually don't remember how many, more than 10. And Unity had offered this wonderful workshop on tithing, which at that time meant 10%, be strict, do it. And I could not imagine how this was possible because I'd just come off a stint of living abroad a lot, not really having very much money because what I had been earning at that time came in different money values, was rubles, which were not on the, not be exchanged. So I wondered what I would do because it didn't seem possible to me that I could give more money out than I originally was doing now and still end up okay. So I tried it, and it was a miracle for me at that time. I managed to, I gave it 6 months, I stuck to the program, everything smoothed out, and that sort of gnawing feeling in the pit of my stomach went away, which was, where will I live? You know, will I have enough to eat? It was stupid. I know I didn't have to worry like that, but that was what came up. So years have been going along very nicely. I continued to tithe, and then there's this new push with our new Reverend Bonnie coming to see us, and I had the opportunity to join the abundance team that was just being formed at that time. You remember when we did those workshops to determine how we could give to our spiritual home? And I thought, well, let's give this abundance team a try. Well, it was like opening a whole new spigot in the hose, whatever. Abundance started to explode in my life again, just because of my new commitment and my deeper commitment to what was going on. And at this time, as I've been looking at, it's the abundance, the giving that I'm making right now, it's not a magic game. What I'm seeing this time is that I'm a co-creator in its appearance in my life, and this abundance appearing. So one example, just about a week ago, started a thing where my furnace is dying. I have to replace it. I get a reduction. I find out a Vista's going to give me a good chunk back. I find out that they can give me more of a reduction. The salesman was lovely, still not enough. So I leave, and then I find out that somebody from my spirit group tells me that there's a man who needs a temporary room to live, 2 to 6 months while he finds a new home, and he can pay me $300 a month. So now we're getting serious, right? And after that, I heard that when they were talking together in his home, his landlord said that he was so impressed that I was doing this, that he would match the man's money. Well, I just couldn't believe it. I just kind of sit back in shock. And what this is also doing is allowing me to experience having somebody be a roommate in my house in a controlled circumstance for my future years. I mean, once the furnace is paid off, what happens with the rest of my life? This is Unity's new gift to me about this. First, it introduced me to tithing, and now I'm realizing that what tithing means to me is not some magic trick that I give up in surrender and watch it happen. It's more, I have to be actively involved, and that I am actually creating what I focus on and what I need. And it's just been a huge experience. So I'm quite excited about the whole thing right now.
So intentional giving is another way for us to co-create and have this beautiful spiritual center that we love thrive as we thrive. We have so many wonderful projects that are in the works, ready to happen, and we would like to start rolling them out. All of them are things that are going to enhance your experience and anyone that you invite's experience of this center. But we need to have more flow happen with the currency. And our new board also needs to really know how they can budget, how much money is actually coming in. So it is our intention as the abundance team to assist you in coming to play in this field of abundance with something that we call intentional giving. So I want you to start thinking about it, pray on it, meditate on it. What is yours to give? The reality is that if you were able to take a look at your monthly giving, make it be something that was automatic giving, just up what you already do by a minimum of $50, that's $12.50 a week. That would make a huge difference. That would allow us to start rolling out some of these projects. You can't imagine what that small amount collectively can do to shift everything that's going on. So I invite everyone to make sure that you're here on May 28th, the end of the month. We're going to do a commitment ceremony, something that we do together, something as a community where we commit our love, some of our resources, and sharing to each other because we all matter. Thank you.
Yay, thank you. All right, let's have the ushers come forward. For those of you who are playing the game, in the back of your seat is a purple envelope to put the 10% tithe from unexpected prosperity and to continue to see what happens in the field. All right, so let's take our gift, our tithe, our offering, and place it upon our heart, and let's say our prayer. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. Amen.
That was so good.
All right, I love that. If you're with the abundance team, can you stand and bless the offering with us from wherever you're at? And let's the rest of us just continue with our open hearts and put our hands out towards this flow that has come in our direction and just give thanks for the ever-giving nature of God that is always giving. It can't help itself. It has to give. It flows, it generates, it circulates, it expands, it multiplies. It takes that one kernel of corn and makes it to over 4,000 million kernels in 3 generations. God the good generates, God the good multiplies. And so with our conscious energy, we speak that same for this beautiful gifts and offering this day. We know that God's at work behind the scenes, and we collectively know this to be true and agree. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Bonnie. my epiphany to this morning. The lack mindset sees the person I'm having issues with will always be the same. The abundance mindset, like a mother, sees their potential. Thank you. Together, unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, for we know that there is only one power, one presence, and one life. So whoever you are, or wherever you are, on your path of transformation, you are welcomed here. And with that, do we have any first-time guests that are here this morning? Anyone? Don't be shy. Awesome, thank you. With that, we have a special gift for you. At our barista stand, we offer you a free beverage of your choice, as long as it's coffee-based or tea-based. But please, by all means, join us there. And rumor has it that our barista today has all been supported by a member. So for anyone today that would like to have a drink, know that it's been taken care of. Abundance. So thank you. You know who you are. So thank you for that generous gift and offering today. For those of you that are visiting, we welcome you. Also those visiting online, we welcome you here. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to be your church for the day, to be your spiritual home for the day. We would encourage you to, we've got a QR code here that you can scan not only here but also online. That will take you to our website that talks about our ministry and shares more things about what we're doing. You can also sign up there for our newsletter, and which also I'll be talking about that a little bit later. Without the QR code, you can go to unityspokane.org, and you can also sign up there. So if you're not inclined to use the QR code, know that you can do that. We would also like to connect with you on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. There again, you can just search Unity Spiritual Center Spokane, and you can find us there. We thank you. Our chaplains today are Gary and Cheryl. Gary is here in person. Cheryl has been in offering space, holding us in space this morning. We thank you both for your service. Gary will also be available after service up front, so if you have a special request, prayer request, or would like him to pray with you, know that Gary will be here and you can come up and see him after. Also, if you're, maybe you have something that you don't quite want to do in person, we also have the prayer cards in the back, seat back. You can also fill out your requests there. Please know that those are prayed for locally here for 30 days, and then they're sent to Unity headquarters. And if you don't know anything about Unity Prayer Center there, look it up. It's pretty amazing. But there are people, there is a person, I should say, that sits in the prayer tower, and there's somebody there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, praying over prayer needs.
I know, because I called.
There we go. Jan knows, and she's done it. So please know that we take those requests. It's just not something we do of our thoughts and our prayers are with you. We actually pray, and those things are cared for. So they're very valuable, and we care about that. All right, so I get to put on my Amber hat and get to do the news you can use. If you don't know Amber, that's her little hair flip that she does. And now I have to get my glasses because I don't have this part of it memorized, so pardon me for digging in here. Okay, news you can use. First of all, the youth have fresh flowers available today after services. If you noticed as you were walking in, they were setting up the flowers and the arrangements. Those are available by offering, by love offering. All proceeds go to youth camps and events that are coming up this summer. So thank you in advance for your abundant generosity. And please know, I've got 2 in mind that I'm going to go and get for those special moms in my life. So please know you have those. We also have a humongous book sale happening today and next Sunday. So if you go back to what used to be the old bookstore, which is now the new gift store, there's a lot of books there that we've had an abundance that we're trying to share with the world and share with you. So just know that you can go there and you can browse and buy all the proceeds go to the center. Also, don't miss. Personally looking forward to this. Next Friday night, or I'm sorry, this coming Friday night, Diane Sherman will be here doing a reading of her new book as well as a writing workshop next Friday, or this coming Friday evening from 6:30 to 8. It'll be here in the chapel. Bring a pair of gently used shoes, if you may, that we'll be donating. For those of you don't know, Diane is a local artisan, writer. She's an amazing individual. If you ever have a chance to this will be my 4th one that we've done. Yeah, and just enjoy. And I will tell you what, she will tickle your shoes off. She is so funny. So anyways, Diane will be here Friday night. And then on Saturday, for those of you that are so inclined, that feel a little jealous of what Heather's able to do here with her, our Unity is going to hold our first Unity karaoke night. Karaoke and potluck. And skill no required. No, if you've ever done karaoke, I've always said, there's not enough tequila to get me to karaoke, but anyways, that's a different story on a different day. But next Saturday evening here from 5 to 8 p.m., it's a great way for us to get together, or just come and celebrate those that'll be getting up and sharing their talents and their time and the treasure. It's always nice to celebrate those and their gifts and encourage one another in that. Again, there's a potluck, so if you're planning to attend, please be sure to bring something. Food and singing, it's going to be fun. Don't miss out. Next, Reverend Bonnie's next midday meditation is Wednesday, May 24th at noon here in the chapel. We will not have there will not be a Zoom option, so please come and join in person. Be sure to sign up through e-news. You can go with that QR code, and then you can also find the information on the Unity online calendar. Next, there we go. Unity North and Unity Spokane are going to be sharing a booth, a table at Spokane Pride. Really excited about this one. This is on June 10th. And we need volunteers. We're looking for people, to serve in the booth. It's just about being who you are. Just sharing in that friendly nature that you all are, that we all get to enjoy each and every week. Smile, make connection. There's an amazing community out there. Last year we served at the Unity and Community, and we were able to meet some folks that were part of the Pride, and it was something we were really looking forward to doing. So please come and join. And I think we also may be participating in the parade as well, if I'm not mistaken. More information will be coming on that. We're basically looking for people to serve a 2-hour time slot. So it's not like you're going to be stuck there all day. Just come in and enjoy for a couple of hours. If you have any questions, see Amber, Deanna, or myself on that. And there'll be more information coming on that in the e-news. And last but not least, finally, Gay and Dave will have tickets still available for the Diva concert that is going to be coming up on June 16th and 17th. There's 2 levels of tickets. There are the VIPs where you get the front row and you get the other little, I think last time there was wine and chocolate or something like that was available for those in the VIP. But just know that those tickets are on sale and available, and there'll be 2 shows, one on the 16th and the 17th. Tickets are available now. Okay, and Amber put the end at the bottom of my notes here. So that's telling me to move on. All right, so I see a bunch of little bobbling heads back there, which tells us that the kids have arrived. So if we'll all welcome our kids coming in.
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of in the light, 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 in the light of God.
I think with that version, that is more of a stroll in the light, not a walk in the light. But we are so glad these kids are here. And so what'd you guys learn today? One thing. Give me one thing. Braden. Okay, next.
We made coupons for our moms, and like there's stuff like that we could do.
Okay, so they made coupons for their moms of something they're willing to do. So take out the trash, breakfast. Five things. Okay, all right. $1,000. All right, we got all kinds of wonderful things here. Okay, so with that, we thank you, kids. We thank our workers for the sacrifice that you do and the pleasure of serving, I'm sure, and the leadership that we have in our youth. We're going to offer our children's blessing. So together we say, be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near. And for ourselves, be the love we are, sing the song we hear, share our joy of life with people far and near. Awesome. Thank you, kids. You may return. All right. Well, if you will all stand as we do say our prayer of protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and that's the truth.